Okay, I think we can get started now that it's 7:02. First off, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Nina Prenosil. I'm the MassURC coordinator within the Commonwealth Honors College at UMass Amherst. And I just want to notify everyone that we are recording this meeting, but only for the purposes of uploading it to our YouTube channel later on so that participants can go back and rewatch it, or people that weren't able to join live can watch the recording of this info session. And now I will hand it off to Jillian.
Hi everyone, I'm Jillian. I'm a conference assistant for the MassURC. Today we're going to talk about how to write a research abstract for the MassURC. So this is the one thing you need to submit in advance to participating in the MassURC. It's going to be submitted on the MassURC hub. It's good to start thinking about it if you haven't already because the deadline is on Friday, February 20th. So first we're going to break down the basics. So an abstract is a brief summary that encapsulates your research. So lengthwise, it is typically a paragraph long. We have a 250 word limit on the hub, and its purpose is to act as a preview for your core work for your topic. So you can think about it as like a snapshot of what you've done and the kind of research you've found, and it gives a quick glimpse into what your research is. So, to give a little context, in the academic world, when people are researching a topic, the abstract is usually one of the first things they look at, and it helps them determine if they want to download your full paper or research and dive deeper into it. So, to break it down, we're going to be looking at the introduction, methods, results, and conclusion that you should be adding in your abstract. So the introduction is the purpose is to introduce your research question or problem. So this is where you can also provide background for your audience about your given topic. So you'll show what's already known about your topic as well as what's unknown and to be discovered through your research. So for example, in this study, we investigate the impact of social media on academic performance. You want to keep this part clear and concise to avoid losing your audience's engagement. So next we have research methods. The purpose of this section is to enable your reader to understand how you conducted your research. So you want to include information such as sample size, duration of the study, etc. So this example we conducted a survey of 300 students and analyzed the data using statistical models. You want to be sure to provide enough detail for clarity without overwhelming your reader about your topic. So next up we have the results. This is arguably the most important part of your research because it shows your reader what the abstract is curious, like your findings will be. So you want to focus on summarizing your key findings without leaving room for interpretation. For example, our findings reveal a positive correlation between social media use and a lower GPA. You don't have to include all of your results in this abstract. You want to make sure you keep it to just your most relevant findings. And then lastly, we have the conclusion. So this is going to highlight the significance of your findings and show the bigger picture why you conducted this research. So for example, these results underscore the need for educational interventions to address social media distractions. This sentence allows the writer to connect their feelings or findings to the real world implications, and it shows the significance that your work holds, and why the reader wants to learn more about your research. So abstracts are due February 20th, but the conference isn't until April 17th, so you still have time to gain your results. So if you don't have any results ready by February 20th to add to your abstract, you don't need to worry about it. You just need to make sure you add your results to your poster board for the day of the conference. Here are some tips about writing your abstract. So you want to make sure you're concise and aim for clarity and brevity when you talk about your research. You want to make sure you're using clear language and avoid using technical jargon that someone who doesn't know much about your topic might not understand. You also want to make sure you highlight any key points to make sure the reader is understanding what's the most important about your abstract. Here are some common mistakes that are often found in abstracts that you want to avoid. Unnecessary details, you don't want to go too deep into your work when talking about your project. You want to stick to the most essential pieces of your research. You want to make sure you're proofreading for clarity. You should go back over your abstract, even have a friend read over it to make sure you don't miss any errors or some gaps in your writing before you submit. And you also want to make sure you're providing context so that your audience can understand the background information because they may be unfamiliar with what you're writing about. So on the Hub, we currently have some past abstracts that you can refer back to see some examples. So you can use this QR code, or you can also find it by going onto the MassURC Hub under the writing and submitting your abstract.
I'm going to leave this slide up for just a second so people have time to scan the QR code.
And this is just a reminder for our next information session, how to create a research poster. It's going to take place Tuesday, April 1st at 7 p.m. So you can scan this QR code. We'll also put it in the chat, and it will be in our newsletter that's coming out as well. So now we'll be doing a quick Q&A. I just want to preface that if you have any questions that are related specifically to your research, you can email conference@honors.umass.edu and we can help you with those more specific questions. But if anyone has any general questions about abstracts, we can answer them for you now.
And feel free to just unmute and ask the question, or you can put it in the chat.
Question. This is Deborah. Hello, everyone. You said that the training for the poster board was going to be on April 1st, but when I registered for it, it said March 31st.
Yes, it is on March 31st. The slides, I believe, did say March 31st. So
Okay,
it is on that day.
it's on March. Okay, all right. And are we going to be able to get a copy of tonight's slide? Is it going to be available on the Mass URC website, or how do we get to review it again?
Yes, a copy of the slides will be posted on the MassURC Hub, and then it will also be posted on the MassURC Hub. A recording of this info session, the live version, will be uploaded to our YouTube.
Okay, and also on that same hub, will we be able to look at samples of an abstract for those of us who read, this is like our very first time?
Yes, so we just uploaded a PDF version, or it was actually a text version of all of the abstract examples that we were able to get approval from. So those are all currently on the MassURC Hub right now. So there's about 7 or 8 examples of previous abstracts. And
Okay,
I'm seeing
great.
another question in here about the word limit. Yes, it's a 250 word limit is the count.
I'm seeing a question in the chat. If you don't have results, you definitely can mention what results you're hoping to look for, but that's also kind of up to you, and you can talk to your faculty sponsor about what you think makes the most sense. And the abstract, I don't believe we put it in the program, but when you get your assignments for which session you're in, it will be on the hub, so anyone who's looking at what you're presenting will be able to see your abstract.
Yes, yeah. So just to reiterate what Jillian said, your abstracts and your presentation times are available to the public because the hub is available to the public, but we aren't doing a printed program this year.
Is there a website for the Mass URC?
Yes, I will pull that up right now and send you the link in the chat. This link that I'm sending you, or I'm sending in the chat, is where you will be submitting your abstract, and it's where you create an account. Let's see.
I'm seeing a question, are there opportunities to revise, edit your abstract? Once you submit your abstract, you won't be able to re-edit it. Your faculty sponsor does have to approve your abstract. So if they decide to send it back to you for revision, then you will be able to revise it. Um, but in general, once it's submitted, you cannot go back and like change anything about it.
Yeah, so when you go in, you do have your professor or your faculty sponsor will have the opportunity to provide those revisions and suggestions, and then you can go and fix your abstract. But again, your abstract is just like a general idea of your research. So if you don't feel that it is exactly how your research ends up being, that's totally fine.
I'm seeing a question related to an English major, what your abstract would look like. If you want to email conference@honors.umass.edu, we can help you find. I don't know if there's exactly one like that on the hub currently, but we can help you find example abstracts. Um,
Yes, definitely. As Jillian said, email us. But there are abstracts that we uploaded that are not necessarily in just the STEM field, so there are variations of things that might align more with an English research project.
There's a question, how many abstracts or projects will be accepted to present this year? Anyone who signs up for the MassURC before the deadline and submits their abstract in time, you will be presenting at the conference. It's just as a general, so we know how many people are presenting, but it's not an accepted versus unaccepted type of conference.
Good evening again. It's Deborah. So I went to the website and there's quite a few menus here. Um, what exactly is the path to get to the copies of the examples of the abstract?
So you will want to navigate to, let me just pull it up. It should be, oh, sorry, one second.
Because when I'm looking at it's home about register, login, how to prepare.
So under how to prepare, if you click that and go to writing and submitting your abstract, it will be listed there. And
Okay.
you'll have all of the abstracts that again, I think we had 7 or 8, maybe a little bit more with examples, and they do range topic to topic. I'm also seeing a question from Daniel. So, Daniel, for this, you can reach out to us at our email, or you can also talk to your faculty sponsor about structuring your introduction. I don't know what campus you're from, but you also have a designated campus contact at your school, and you can reach out to them for help with this specifically.
So, question about the length of abstracts. They are usually around a paragraph. We have a 250 word limit on the hub for your abstract. So they're fairly short, just a summary of what your work that you're working on.
Does anyone else have any questions? We're happy to answer anything else. Okay, well, it looks like we are all set. So thank you everyone for joining us. And again, if you have any questions, you can email us. I'm just going to throw it in the chat. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well.
This is just like an unrelated question, but where on the UMass Amherst campus will the conference be held?
So that is in,
Question.
are you familiar with the UMass Amherst campus?
Yeah, I go here.
Okay. So it's in the campus center auditorium. So just like right when you take the escalator down, it's in that big auditorium underneath Harvest and Blue Wall.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. I
In
think
the
I heard,
past, how many school? I'm so sorry.
oh,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Amanda. Now I
You can
was
go.
saying how many in the past, how many schools participate in this presentation?
So there are 28 public colleges and universities in Massachusetts, and normally we see about 24, 25 of those
Oh,
schools at the
so it's pretty
conference.
big.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. We
it's
have
pretty
about
lengthy.
800 participants each
Oh my
year.
goodness. And
Yeah.
how long is each presentation? How much time is allotted for each presentation?
They're in 45-minute slots.
Okay, thanks. And do you have any presentations that are bilingual? Like someone who may create their presentation in English but then also translated into Spanish or any other language.
I'm sure that would be an option for students that are bilingual, if it was requested during their presentation, but I'm not sure exactly. I guess it would be case on a case by case basis if a student was bilingual.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, does anyone else have any questions?
Are there any like awards given like for like best presentation or any sort of thing like that?
No, this is not an awarded ceremony or conference.
When we give the presentations, like will it be like one person on stage like giving the presentations, or will all just be in like a massive hall like doing it at once?
Yeah, so it's in a really big conference, or not conference room, it's more of an auditorium. So there will be, I'm not sure exactly how many in each room, but there will be a lot of people in one room giving the presentations. And it's more of a style where guests are just walking through, going up to presentations. So you won't be on stage alone or anything like that.
If you've ever been to like a science fair, it's kind of built the same way, where there's multiple people in front of their poster at a time, and people can walk around to see different posters and ask questions about everyone's project.
Okay, are there any last questions?
One last question. How long should someone plan on staying at the venue?
Would this be a student or a guest?
Student, I'm sorry, student, a presenter. So
Um,
how should they plan their day?
could you give me like an estimation on where the student is coming from?
I attend Mount Wachusett Community College,
Okay, so
uh,
that is Worcester area.
Gardner.
Okay. I guess it's all on, again, a case by case basis. If they wanted to stay the full day, they could. But a lot of students just come for their presentation session because they are scheduled for that 45-minute slot. But then some students do stick around for the day. We have also a keynote in the morning. So students are, of course, encouraged to go to the keynote in the morning and then go to their presentation session. But it's really up to the student, depending on what they would like. And some schools will choose to coordinate a bus or a van to bring students from their schools that are a little bit further away. So they're all on the same schedule.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So UMass does not provide a hotel stay for presenters, but you are welcome to reserve a room at the UMass hotel if that's something of interest to you. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I guess that is all. Thank you all for joining. We will end the Zoom now, and I look forward to seeing you all at the conference.